And yeah, it's a continuation of an episode, so I'm not reading again, but welcome back again. Even in the diaspora, loloke. Yeah, we're having we're down here in South Africa, so we'll continuing with the knowledge sharing session. Lekesha, please catch him on the first episode. I'll link it here. I'll link all the episodes that we're gonna do Lekesha here, so that you can get context of the things we're speaking about here. But in this segment, I won't say in this episode because it's the same thing. In this segment, Katla Kanya, the Psy-Ops, Psy-Ops and mind control, right? And I think preluding this episode, I asked for did man create God? Did God create man? And yeah, we unpacked that that episode. And then I can't remember the second question I asked. But yeah, he's got the same.
How we build.
Oh, reality, yeah. So he's got the same mind as I. But yeah, clearly his memory is better than mine.
No, not clearly, but in this case.
But also you remember it's only a thing like now you're like popular speaking. But yeah, he shared a very interesting article that one of his teachers or the people he follows. I wanted to laugh first. Gotta keep on that guy. Which is something we need to be very conscious of in conscious space or aware of in conscious space. And those of us who want to give ourselves titles and how we know it all and all of that. And like, man, I'm seeing his face. That guy who was questioned on Thoth and the Emerald Tablet, and then he got buried.
Oh, Billy
Yes. So you see what he does, like why and investigates the things that he already believes in. Because imagine being shot down by somebody of religious. Yeah, but I think it's like you noticing a lot, which was my qualm about the woke space was like Rakota, but a lot of people we don't read, we don't, no, Marcus Garvey said this, so this is this, but nobody ever goes to actually
investigate,
get
the actuality.
Because even in the books that you're reading, don't gospel them, and which is what we do, but it's material to help with your cognitive abilities, guys. The try and the quad stuff we spoke about.
Trivium and quadrivium.
But Kesha, over to you. To those who haven't met him, he is a Kemet Forum member. He's a Bangoma member as well. They make delicious music. Shared it here, and also on our sister channel. Ikaya Lengo. But yeah, so they're doing amazing work, or let me say he's doing amazing work, but they're doing amazing work.
I'm just a speaker. In some cases, I'm just representing, but in this case, I'm representing.
Yeah, myself. But Magenta Spana, leading Tovugazi, Spana, but I'm referring to him directly because he's a knowledge seeker, and always. Yeah. And he digs deep, and that's how you challenge also the stuff that you're believing in. Like the Akashic records dirikana. So to say that you know it all is a fallacy. But okay. So those who haven't met him, Tiyiselani, ka Mathebula or wa Mathebula. Waka Mathebula in his native tongue. But Ketla, over to you.
Okay. I think the writer with perspective, with context, actually, not perspective.
Yeah. So maybe we can start from your point, reality.
Yes. The reason why how do we build reality according to Mark Passio, and I say according to because one thing I can notice that is happening, especially in the spaces where I would say specifically the podcast. People that are being interviewed never necessarily reference someone.
Oh, you do that very well, actually.
Which I think I've never been to university, and I wouldn't say I know process ya ntho tse tshwana le plagiarism le treatwa jwang. But for the understanding that that exists, it's important to give people at least the origins of what you say. Because people do that. They come here about but if I know, for example, I'm going to be controversial right now. There's a lot of literature, including literature that is currently taken by specific people, in this case, but Babans. The people who are saying that they are conscious, they tend to read a book, and then due to the limitation of the information that they have prior to reading the book, they think that whatever that is written in the book only has its origin within the book.
Yeah.
And for example, Black Root Science. I wouldn't say that I've really read the book, because it was just a PDF, and it was just a Q&A, question and answer. I haven't read any book outside of that, so I'm not sure what about Babuaka Black Root Science. What are they actually talking about? But the contents of
that's the beginning. Let's go deeper.
yes, because Google by now 7 volumes and everything. So there are
There's
people.
7. I thought there's only 2 volumes.
Even online, that you see those things. So I realized the little that I know is that Murimunchu, which is Murimunchu. So this guy is of Botswana. However, most of the information when it comes to the Q&A version of the PDF, the information due to my other research, I know the information from other sources,
Hebrew Israelites.
Also as well, because amongst other there is also Sumerian touch.
Like I saw his and sorry BaNebDjedu, but in that, like I feel the occultism of BRS is from how we were exposed to let's say consciousness through the Americans. They take it from like they have history of Islam. That's why the rappers, Bokomoni, Bo Mang, they all have the Islam way of things. But my issue, not that I have an issue now, but my issue is that is that again, it's sort of discarding of something Abrahamic to reintroduce it again in a refined-ish kind of manner. And how
I mean, you have to be careful of what you say. And I don't need to.
As I have guessed, gonna say
So, not to be offensive to any of maybe the guests that have spoken about the book and how it has helped them.
The exercises are amazing. I'll give it that.
Yes. The issue is when it comes to what I was stating earlier on, the lack of information prior to you reading any information will determine how much you take from that.
Yeah. It's like reading that the creator's book when you don't have a basis of anything else.
And then we got the video alien and which is
something I learned from you the other day. You're speaking about how like the Sumerian
Sumerian tablets. I didn't actually.
Okay.
I read information that was deciphered.
Yes, the point I'm making is like Kemet. It wasn't for most of you guys. Wasn't the first point of entrance. For this is my consciousness.
Anunnaki.
Hotel.
So
that you're thinking of the Anunnakis actually.
Yes. So that I think also, for example, someone who doesn't have much information would get an introduction about the character Kandakul. Jehovah and Monko Black. Yakub. The story of Yakub, the Nation of Islam has been perpetuating it from its inception. So it was nothing new by the time now the trick now ke gore when probably miss or not misinterpretation but rather motswako batho ba kenya the six gun le di eng mo ntho e tse leng teng on and we then are unable to separate whether what is myth and what is ntho e.
Yeah.
The
And what
stories
is
are,
somebody's thoughts as well?
yes, stories are Jacob say questionable. Yabo? Say questionable because of what you were saying. Say religious. Yabo? And I think Black Root Science is not it was not written to be a religious book. Yabo? It was meant to be a scientific book, but it's like the new Bible for most of us.
Yeah, I feel that your group concepts, like young disconnect from how we say we are gods, we're this, we're that.
And
So
then we still have to wait for
yeah,
his coming.
it's the explanation of sin again, which it was an experiment. So that's one of my biggest issues.
No,
There is,
no, really, at the root of it, ne, ke gore ne, do we believe that white people were created by a black man who had a big head?
to cause corruption.
Yeah, I understand. At some island. Most what is being propagated as new information and discoveries, and it's actually old concepts that are being reintroduced to the public for the fact that the public doesn't have the origins of these things. So that's why Karata reference. When you refer, na ke tlo bua ka something, ke tlo jwetsa gore Zachariah Sitchin, go 12th Planet, which is his first book, more the Earth Chronicle series. That information in itself, it fits in. So Zachariah Sitchin has an amount of around 8 or 9 books that he released. And when you say you read Zachariah Sitchin, which there is someone who was a teacher or someplace who likes talking about the Anunnaki and talking about his encounter with BaNebDjedu. And within the encounter, there was a book that BaNebDjedu recommended to him, and it was a book by Zachariah Sitchin. But he never states the author, the name of the book, because Zachariah Sitchin has kitchen book at 7. Ke eng o buang ka yona. Ke yone ke bona fast ka ntho. So if I want to, because if you're reading a book, you know the details for it. So you cannot tell me just the author and one me so Zachariah Sitchin is one of the foremost or well-known scholars in the Anunnaki, because he was able to a certain degree to decipher the Sumerian text. But I wouldn't say he's the most reliable, but he also has his misinterpretations that you won't find out if you just use him as a
so you need to, yeah.
So
don't savior effect somebody, because I feel we do that like as black people, or let me say as a colonized people instead of black people. We always having somebody needs to rescue us from something and then rectify that kind of thing, and some people accept that rectification level. Now I'm a leader, now I'm this. Somebody was joking at
it's serious. It's easy to start a cult. You guys start outside it.
And then
because some of these movements did then probably occult developing CP.
Yeah. And now your ego also puts you here, and yeah, that's why I always say perpetual studentism.
Yeah. Always take the learner seat. Give one quote, take the guy who is very important. So,
I like that.
Psy-Ops, ne? As sometimes American will go on it. All right.
Sorry, we friends, so we talk like this.
Psy-Ops, mind control, or the study of these things allow you to see these things and to give work on. Okay, man. This guy who won trading thing, but there is a fallacy in what they're saying because they didn't think it out fully and they didn't do further research after getting this information.
Okay, for the people who are not in this space, what is Psy-Ops?
Yeah, just to start there. No?
Yeah, I
Psy-Ops,
think let's remind ourselves to call ourselves
yeah,
scouts.
that's your job. That's your job.
Only that, like, kayo ba, no, Roman? Konje, like, not everybody's in
Yeah,
tip.
hey, when yung put this quote, ke rata e quote, ke se bile go ke ama. Because why is it quote something anonymous? No, man. Hearing, never underestimate the ignorance of the public. Never.
Which is
I
why we are
understand.
victims today.
Right.
Yeah, when you're
So,
speaking about symbolism of the Illuminati, it's in plain sight. Always
never.
in plain sight.
And about
But
using to come on, check that pyramid. What is bad ka pyramid? And this one last in a philosophy, oh, some build this thing, and
yeah,
there is what
energy.
buff you could email, but Babanga to all more understand of
Well,
okay.
this is how the system
Well,
is.
so yeah. So we attach meaning to different things, and this whole process is what that's where mind control comes in. Right? And mind control, by definition, there is no actual definition because these are definitions that are agreed upon. Right? Motho so o nagana so then o tjho, "Ai, John, then ra dumela ra ngola." Re Oxford rona re re, wa bona? Then we take that and we say it's official. But it's not really official, it's just it sense the most. So mind control is an ability for a person or a thing to have manipulative power over another. Right? I give as simple. Right? So meaning it's not really good or bad. It's just the process but mainly usually so-called dark occultist. Right? And mind control is just one's ability to control the mind. So if it's not you controlling your own mind, obviously there is somebody else who's doing that. Right? So I'll share the history of mind control. It's older than civilization. Right? Meaning by the inception of part two, mind control has to be there. Right? The programming, which programming and mind control normally we say is the same thing, but it's not necessarily. Programming is like a set of instructions or an imprinting and compartmentalization, which is separation, yeah, tlhaloganyo by someone to another in order to manipulate them to do something e bone ba e batlang. Like motho a change fela tlhano e tshwana le brainwashing. Change di-instructions tse mo tlhaloganyong ya motho gore motho a utlwa something a nagana ke ene mara se ene ke wena mo drivang.
Reality na.
So the psyche. For now, this thing with the psyche, where the word psychology comes from as well. Ology, I agree with the study of. Ology ke suffix. You can you after manzui also I study that thing. Or if you study the origins of Mudim, it's like theology. Because theo, Magritte ba ke theo, God. No?
Oh, Prafi.
I want to know. So, it's all interesting. So, these ologies, then, yeah, the psyche is actually the mind, or what we say the expressions of consciousness, which is the mind, the emotions, and the body, which is responsible for action, the actions. So these three make up your psyche. And psychology is the study of these things, the study of the mind, the body, and the on. So within psychology, one of the most important things is the mind, the study of the mind, be it the biological aspects and also the non-physical aspects. The biological aspects, it's separated, they control certain things in the body, and the knowledge of that helps one to be able to control you by just alluding to a certain part of the brain. I want to more kind of sublimination and other techniques.
Wabona, very ignorance is bliss. Like now that I've opened the portal, now I can't go back. But I wish I didn't know certain things.
I want to sure, and it's not bliss. I'm telling you, ignorance is bliss, but in this lifetime, it will kill you. Sure. Because well, it's blissful in an environment that's requiring next from one.
Ne?
So consciousness, it has its way of expressing itself in the body. Yabona? As Nick explained, are the three expressions of consciousness: the mind, which is the thoughts, and emotions. Yabona, and then
Tools of manifesting.
what do you want to and then the action, which is another tool as Haratiwi, which is the the Trinity, the Father, the Mother, and the child. The Father is represented by the thoughts, and the emotions by the Mother, and they produce action, which is the child. Just the inner Trinity, you could say. Then that Trinity has it also has its biological counterparts. And that's why it's the chakra, the non-physical aspects, but they have physical glands that they correlate to. So in this case, the brain as a vehicle of, or the seat of consciousness. It consciousness uses the brain, and it uses what we could say three parts of the brain for certain functions. And that's where the expression of consciousness can be separated, where that is the cortex. Three cortexes, complexes. The complex, actually. They call it the reptilian complex, the R complex, which they say the reptilian. And then there is the limbic system. It's not a cortex per se, but the limbic system ke the mammal brain, the mammal responsible for emotion. The lower brain, R complex, is responsible for physical and survival functions. I want to control a nervous system.
You see why snakes have such a bad rep? Survival at any cost.
Sure, I want to. So there is reason for these things. The limbic brain in as is the so-called center for emotions, and then there is the neocortex, which you would say it should be the CEO of the brain, because it's responsible for higher thought and higher function, just like your ability to calculate, to reason, and other things.
Where would the acts of breathing and things that we do, I guess,
Are regulated.
unconsciously? Yeah.
And these three parts of the brain, or these three brains, they are actually separated into three. It's a philosophical separation, rather than a literal separate. But there are literal ways of which you can be able to separate them.
Okay.
The limbic system, and this is the one. The limbic system is the one that has the pituitary gland, the pineal gland. So one would then say it's a combination, because some function cuts off from the limbic brain but gets executed by the lower brain.
So all in one.
So the brain is complex.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just give you less complex versions of how to separate it philosophically. And occultism. Occultism is the study of this, actually.
Okay.
Because occult, the body, they say there are two main bodies of information, more occult. When they say this knowledge has two categories, or the arcane. Arcane. Arcane is a group or collection of information, just like a library has an arcane of information, you could say. So these two branches get lesser or greater, but it's separated. Greater arcane, lesser arcane, or major arcane, or minor arcane. It actually means minor arcane, the study of the things within, like psychology. I want to study your brain, study how the body operates. Into the within, into the like quantum physics. And then outer, it's on a major arcane, the study of the stars, nature, how it connects into the calendar, how it affects us at the spiritual level. So these arcane, a great arcane is what we say is natural law. Milawa ya Jehuti le maant. And then ena ke psychology. The brain is so biologically, and then this biological parts they control this non-physical aspects of yourself. Right? So the brain as Gichila, the neocortex, which is Neo of the Matrix, was named after that brain. Yeah, because it's the like he represents the higher when you are in Asaman as
Yeah.
Gichila. Also reaches a point here. But it is like a balance, which why Maati was a very it's like is at the top of the list. So Maat Lijehuti are representatives of these principles that govern human behavior. And such a hood it's a seven, it's a ranking the hermetic principles or the general principles of natural law.
Polarity.
Yeah, the first one came mentalism, the second one came correspondence, the one are so above and so below, as above, so below.
Yeah.
Then the third one came vibration. That's where body law of attraction comes from. It's just a subsection. But vibration states hovering and nothing is relevant. Nothing is
At a standstill, yeah.
Everything vibrates except in need. Serious. It's not it doesn't wave, it's straight. That's why about it needs. Yeah, with TC. I want you understand? Just how we understand that makes more sense and there's more we did that. Oh, hey, we see that. I can say what is the name of that expression. Now it's a very important expression. Yeah, oh. Child, I want to
realization.
Yeah. Very important epiphany. You know, when that sudden realization of what you think is true. And I think whenever I engage, I try to bring more of that. I like to bring a different perspective. And because of why I like to think differently. I have to
like
make that
they
known.
were arguing about I don't know.
Ngibona
With TK, yeah.
Oh.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to be more like a
And they
mediator.
I'm down, man. What's this ceremony?
Oh yeah,
That
ugu
exorcism thingy and anytime.
Ufemba. Anyway, I will say that. That's another episode. So, back to Psy-Ops and mind control. The expressions of consciousness allow you to understand how the mind works and therefore how to control the mind. So, the occultist, a light occultist is somebody who is aware of hidden information or hidden science, but uses it for the benefit of to grow the consciousness of humanity.
Like you, so for example.
Yeah, you would say that. I'd say. And other characters historically, whether they existed or not, Krishna, Jesus, they are representative of what you could say light occultist. Yeah, it's important to understand
the meaning of words
because that's where we won't get caught up in useless debates.
So and we want to analyze each other.
We normally go for 30 minutes. These people are both wrong and they're not really getting to a point where they're realizing. So that's okay. I've once been, I'm not supposed to say this, but in the process, what I realized is that as they were arguing the word religion, the spirituality, because na ke rata definition, ka emisa topic go boela back to the definition. So according to then we realize they both have, according to me, the wrong one definition of the word, because the definitions of the word they are about the word. So etymology of religion, for example, it comes from the Latin word religare, and religare it means to tie back to. Ugusonta something to tie something like I want to say it's too.
Go kgoka ka speech.
Why want to say? It's only to read about because our language actually gives you more perspective. Right? So, relegare in this case could also refer to a saint. Our cultures are religions, African religions.
I laugh at you guys. Isintu sithi.
I want to city. I don't believe in that because I don't think isintu siyakhuluma. Serious, but however, there is things that are being said in isintu. And that is questionable.
Yeah, but I feel like even Hariako, like you saying, or you wanna say no, we're not religious, we're spiritual. But if you look at what the actual word is, do we not do rituals? Do we not
Religion,
Like
That's fine. It's the same thing because out of the mythology that we entertain the mythological aspects of this more than the science. That's why I did this episode there with the controversy because of the mythology that people are holding on to. So mind control
and cult creation.
The one-on-one cult the creator ke ntho eo ya gore motho ke ba le understanding ya gore hey man kunonkulunkulu unkulunkulu wazala uma wazala umvelinqangi wazala unomkhulwa I mean it's not umvelinqangi uzale uma nonkulunkulu wazala yabona and then go tla motho tlo reng but unkulunkulu is not a gama lesintu yabona khulunkulu no the actual word is khulukhulwana yabona but unfortunately when it comes to manzwi as long as it's now definition that exists whether you like it or not.
Ooh,
why? No, yeah, serious. Yeah, because we use it. Check out the Jesus will exist. Whether I kill a pill or not. Jesus will exist. Jesus is real.
Yeah. Every Sunday they make sure.
Thank you so much for watching, and unfortunately that's how much we could get. Please tune in for some more when we expand more on Psy-Ops and mind control, psychological warfare.